Hi everyone, in this lesson we are going to look at the beginner's guide to fingerpicking on guitar. I'm just going to give you a brief introduction to acoustic fingerpicking. I'm going to show you some of the techniques behind it, and then at the end of this video we're going to learn a lovely fingerpicking pattern. So make sure you watch right to the end, stay tuned, and I'll show you how to do it. In this lesson then, we're going to look at some acoustic fingerpicking for beginners. But if you haven't done it already, hit like to like the video, hit subscribe to subscribe to the channel, and click that alert bell so you don't miss any updates. If you'd like a PDF with everything that I'm going to talk about in this lesson written out, you'll see a link below in the description, so make sure you grab that. Right then, let's just get stuck in. As I mentioned, this is going to be acoustic fingerpicking for beginners. So if you've been playing a little while, you know a couple of chords, and you want to start fingerpicking, this is the perfect place to start. Or if you're slightly more advanced, you've been playing for a few months or for years, and you just want to start learning a few fingerpicking patterns, this is going to be another great video for you, because I'm going to show you all the tips and techniques behind fingerpicking for acoustic guitar. So let's just jump in then. So let's start off by a few sort of notation or what things are called. Let's start like that. So when looking at fingerpicking, often the way things are notated are a little bit different than in tab. Now, you'd see things in tab written out. That notates this hand, okay? That notates in the fretting hand. Whatever you put on the fretboard, you'll see written out in tab and notation. But what about this other hand that we're going to be using? So often in acoustic fingerpicking and classical music, classical guitar, the fingers, this hand, are notated like this. Your thumb will be known as P, okay? Your index finger will be known as I. Your middle finger will be known as M, and your ring finger is going to be known as A. So if you ever see a tab or some music written out and you see those letters above it, you will know that is what they are for this hand, for your picking, your plucking hand. P for your thumb, I for your index, M for your middle, and A for your ring finger. Now, the little finger, the pinky, isn't really very used. I studied classical guitar a long time ago back when I was in school and went through all the different grading systems, etc., etc. And never once did I ever use this finger. And in all my professional career, when I've had to do fingerpicking guitar, I've managed to get away with not using this one as well, the pinky. So we're not going to be using that in this video. But there are going to be players out there that want to use that finger, but normally it is not used, okay? So let's just talk about the thumb stroke then to start with. So we're going to start off, we're just going to be plucking the low E string. And a couple of tips when doing this. What you don't want to do, you don't want to have your thumb under the E string and pluck upwards, because this will happen and you're going to whack the string. I mean, that's terrible. You know, whack the string too hard and you get that really over-aggressive snapping sound. So you just want to pluck the string. And I'm using kind of a medium force. I'm not plucking too hard. I'm not plucking too soft. That's part of dynamics. If I want to go louder, I can. If I want to go softer, I can. I'm using a medium kind of volume there. Okay, and as I'm plucking, my thumb is sort of moving through the strings in a downward motion like this, and it's almost landing in towards my other fingers, okay? Now my thumb as well, another thing just to bear in mind, it's moving from my knuckle, not my wrist. So it's not going like this. I'm not plucking like this. It's just moving from my thumb knuckle, okay? As you can see there. Okay, another key to this is being relaxed. If you tense up, and you know, all your forearm gets tense and you get really tense, you're going to end up doing that sort of thing as well. So just stay nice and relaxed. And that's the thumb. So let's look at a few exercises. There's going to be even more written out in the PDF, so make sure you grab that. And for now, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to pluck the E string and count 4. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, when I'm doing that, I am actually holding the fretboard down this end just to cover off the strings so they're muted, rather than, you know, just in case I was accidentally going to catch anything else. Let's do the same thing this time on the A string. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Pluck the A string. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the same thing for the D string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now every string will have its challenges. Often the E string is the easiest. As soon as you move down, you might find them a little bit more tricky to sort of get used to the technique, but that's what these exercises are for. If you just practice plucking one string over and over again, you will get better at it, okay? So we're not going to go any further for now. We're just going to take it to the D string. Sometimes you will be plucking the G if you're doing more complicated things, but for the time being, we're not going to bother. We're just going to be focusing on the E, the A, and the D string. So some other things you could do then, you could do exactly the same things that we've just done with different rhythms. We could do minim, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2 strikes of that string per bar. Or we could do crotchets, also known as quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the same on the A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the same on the D. Now the thing which I will say when practicing this, you will have to really focus on how much movement you get out of your thumb. If your thumb is flying all over the place like this when you're on a different string, not the E, so if I was just doing the D and my thumb was flying around like this, you know, it's much hard to catch it. So it's nice, be nice and controlled. Keep your thumb near the string, just as I'm doing there. Okay, and now we'll just look at some exercises where we alternate the strings. So let's just pluck the E and the A, 1 bar each. So we're going to get E, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you can do the same thing, alternating with different rhythms. So like I said, in that PDF, there's plenty of other things you can have a go at. But for now, we're just going to keep this short and sweet. So we could do something like this. We could alternate between the E and the A with quarter notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, A, E, A, E, A, E, A. Now that is definitely getting more difficult, so take your time with all these exercises. As always, make sure you practice them with a metronome as well. Okay, let's move on then to our other fingers. So let's start first with our index finger, and we're going to pluck the G string with our index finger like this. And now when plucking that finger, okay, I'm just using the tip there. Some people do grow nails. I don't actually have any nails. A lot of classical guitarists do have nails. You get different sound, and probably if you're ever going to look to do classical guitar, is probably easier and actually does sound a little bit better for that style. I don't have nails. I just use the skin. Normally a slightly warmer sound when using skin versus nail. Some people use acrylic nails as well. So whatever floats your boat on that one. I'm going to stick to no nails, okay, on this hand. So as I'm plucking the string, my fingers coming up into my hand like this. Okay, so I'm not going right under the string like this and snapping it against the guitar. Again, any snapping of the string like that isn't going to sound very nice in context of a song or any finger picking sequences. So you just want a light pluck. On whichever string you decide to use. Let's do the same thing with our middle finger now on the B string. So I'm just going to pluck my middle finger like this on the B. And then let's alternate between our index and middle on the G and the B. So like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to index. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Let's bring in our third finger. This time let's do the B and the high E. So let's do 1, 2, 3. That's middle, and then ring finger on the E string, a bar of each. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's combine these three fingers. We're going to do this. We're going to plug the G string with our index, the B string with our middle, and the E string with our ring finger. So we're going to do this. 1, 2, 3. And on the fourth beat, we're going to pluck the B string again. So we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now notice I'm resting my thumb on that low E string. You don't have to. I just find for me personally it gives me a good center of balance and a reference point as well when I'm working through the strings, but that's not something you have to do. You see some people resting fingers and thumbs and things on the body. I've never been a fan of doing that. If you are one of those people, then that's fine. Just for me, I'd rather not do that. I just know if my thumb is resting on that low E, it's easy then if I ever want to get to the E or the A strings, okay? So that's another exercise you can do. So now let's do fingers and thumbs. Let's pluck with our thumb and our fingers at the same time. So let's just pluck the G string with our index finger and the E string with our thumb at the same time. So just have a go at that. Bar of each, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Let's swap our index for our middle finger on the B. So we're going to pluck the E string and the B string with our middle finger of this hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and again. And now let's do our ring finger and also the E string. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so obviously there's loads of exercises that you can do. If you're interested in a more detailed lesson on this, over at Fretlix you get access to free masterclasses with any purchase of a course, and I've actually done a full hour showing loads and loads of these exercises. Also, if you're interested in me doing more of this kind of lesson, comment below and I'll make some more of these. So let's move on then. We're going to start learning some patterns. So let's hold down a C chord. Okay, C major, and we're going to do this. So I'm plucking the A string and the B string. A string with my thumb, B string with my ring finger, and then I'm going to catch the middle finger is going to be on the G string. So I've got A and B at the same time. So 1, 2, 3. That's the G string. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and round and round. Okay, and let's move that on a bit. We're going to do this. That is the thumb and your ring finger. Thumb on the A string, ring finger on the B. Then I'm doing index on the D, middle on the G, back to index on the D. So, slowly. And that is going to be the pattern we're going to learn. So I'm going to speed that up a little bit now, and it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that's the pattern, which will sound really, really nice. Now, how do you get that into a chord sequence? Let's talk about that. I'm going to do exactly the same pattern with this hand, my plucking hand. I'm just going to play C, A minor, G, back to C. So this hand, my plucking hand, staying the same, which is thumb on the A, ring finger on the B, index on the D, middle on the G. So there's our pattern. Exactly the same thing. We're just going to hold down A minor, so nothing changes with your plucking hand. The only thing that needs to change now when you go to G is this thumb needs to move from the A string to the E. Everything else can stay the same. Back to C, so the thumb moves back to the A string. So, and again, so there's the C, thumb on the A string to A minor. And then we need to move that thumb up to the E for that G. So let me just play that on my own without talking a little bit faster. Okay, now obviously you can use the same pattern for other chords. That's just showing you one finger picking pattern on a nice easy chord sequence, C, A minor and G. Okay, so that was an introduction, a beginner's introduction to acoustic fingerpicking. We've covered a lot in that video. If there's any part you'd like me to get into in more detail, please comment below. If you want the PDF with all of that stuff written out, I definitely recommend you grab it. You'll see a link below in the description. If you want some more content from me, check out my other lessons on YouTube, and also come over to my guitar school, Fretlix, www.fretlix.com. As I mentioned, there's a 1-hour masterclass free with any course on all this sort of stuff. There's more exercises and more patterns, and also the same pattern with plenty of other chords. If you want that, you just need to purchase any old course over at fretlix.com. Hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you again soon.